Top one, ladies. My name is Hans, and welcome to the WED or Custom Card Reviews. Or they should have been called WED Card, or what archetype is this? So we're gonna go over the King, or no, not King. It's not King support. It's Seal of the Darkness. This archetype has many monsters, many spells, but one trap card. And yeah, so let's begin with, let's not start with a big boss monster. Let's start with something small. Work our way up to the big monsters. So let's start with this guy. Seal of the Darkness. Smiley. Look how happy he is. He is such a cutie. And that's his actual nose. The one that's over with two lines thing. That's actually his nose. So, yeah. So then now, his effect is basically, if this card is normal or special summon, select one card from your opponent's deck, or hand or graveyard. Banish it to the banish zone. If it does, skip your opponent's draw phase until the 2 turns are up. If this card attacks a monster before damage calculations, you can pay 200 life points. Means banish all cards from your opponent's field and hand into the banish zone. His cards makes 4 attacks per battle phase. And this card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card hex. This card is sent to the grave. You can shuffle this card into the deck, add raise spells / trap cards from, yeah. So this card is, you could splash it into any deck, and it doesn't have how it wouldn't be the same thing as the Golden Castle of Stromberg ones, where from the anime where it got hacked into the system thing. Yeah. So let's do another one. Ready? This one is, they all have the Seal of the Darkness in their names. But yeah, this one is Mask of Slime. It's a level 2 water monster, 0 attack, 0 defense. It doesn't stay on the field or when it has the ability. If this card is normal summoned, you can tribute this card from your field. Activate one Seal of the Darkness field spell from your deck or graveyard or hand or banish zone to your field. If it does, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent's life points. So if this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle this card, add 4 cards from your deck to your hand. This card's, yeah. So, yeah. Reason why he has 0 attack and 0 defense is because he's basically a slime. He's just a mask. What do you do with it? Oh, well, I beat with somebody with a mask the other day. Not really, I'm being joking around. So, yeah. Next card is a... Oh, let's go over the spell card first. I know it's supposed to be the... It looked like the other spell card, field spell. Yama, huh? World thing. But this one is only for its own archetype. Most monsters that you'll see down the list needs that card. So that's why this card is like, that's why it doesn't stay on the field. Because once you add his card to the hand, it basically allows you to straight up activate it from your deck or from anywhere to the field zone immediately. Not just, oh, I'm going to activate this card for... Yeah. So then, yeah. Now, it's a field spell. Its effect goes like this. All Seal of the Darkness monsters gain 1,000 attack points for each of your opponent's draw phase. By itself, that seems pretty powerful. During each of your opponent's draw phase. So basically you gain, so your monsters gain that much attack points. Now, and plus Seal of Alcalcos' anime effect kicks in. This card's controller can summon monsters in their spell and trap card zone, which cannot be attacked unless there are no monsters in their monster zones. This card's controller cannot move or can move monsters from your monster zone or from their monster zones to the spells and trap card zones. This cards cannot be destroyed by card effects. You take no damage by effect, card effects. So basically, when you have this card out and you had and your opponent had a structure deck on battery action to Samachi, name one. If this card is sent to the graveyard or banish zone, you can shuffle this card into the deck. Special summon one King of the Darkness or one Seal of the Darkness monster from anywhere to your field in attack mode. So, the reason why this card can be like, oh, I'm going to summon all. So now let's move on to Jar of Monster. I'm saying the last part instead of, because they all have it. So, it's a dark, level 4 machine, 1,500 attack, 1,200 defense. So, all this has, I'll just read it. If you have this card on the field, reveal this card from your hand. Special summon it to your field. In attack mode, if it does, then take one monster from your opponent's graveyard, equip it to this card. If it does, then this card gains the equipped monster's effects. If this card is attacked by your opponent's monster, you can shuffle one card. It's supposed to be this is a cost by shuffling one card from your graveyard or battlefield into the deck, and negate that card effect and end the turn. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects, and you take no damage from battles involving this card. If this card is sent to the grave, you select one, or select the monster that was equipped to this card, special summon it to your field in attack mode. But it gains its name gains Seal of the Darkness to it. If you do, shuffle this card into the deck. So basically, this card, you could see it, but probably you don't. But the red silhouette guy in this, is where the equipped monster gets stored. And you're basically draining the monster's effects, abilities, into it. And when it's when the monster gets killed off, or when this card gets killed, summons a equipped monster. Example would be, what would a good card be? Dragon Rulers. If someone played Dragon Rulers, they could just reach into the graveyard, pulls out the Dragon Ruler, and equip it to this card. And its effects it gains that effect, basically. But if this card gets killed, then summon one of the Dragon Rulers, because it was equipped to it. So, yeah. But you could also do it with, Dark Magician or Blue Eyes White Dragon. One of those cards. Yeah. So we move on to Thunderstrike. Yeah. So Thunderstrike is a dark, level 4. He's a Thunder Tuner effect monster. If you, or actually, let me skip that part. If it does, because it has a similar effect of summoning itself by using the field spell. Destroy all cards on the field, or on your opponent's field, not on the field, to the graveyard, and their effects are negated in. If this card attacks, you can pay 500 life points, negate all card effects from your opponent's hand until the end phase. If this card is in your graveyard or battlefield, you can shuffle this card shuffle one card, except this card, from your graveyard or battlefield or hand into the deck. Spell summon this card to your field in attack mode. So most of these have once per turns on it. So, and yeah, so this one basically allows you to wipe your opponent's entire board. Like, see ya. And then this one, and plus this one doesn't target. It destroys all cards. So basically, if your opponent had the big plans to like aim to try to wipe you out, you just activate the spell, like a field spell, then you can summon that to attack into your opponent. So, yeah, now this one, Steam Man, he's basically a steam healer, elemental hero steam healer. And it's this one, and if it does, select one monster from your opponent's graveyard. Both players gain life points equal to the selected monster's attack points. If this card, hold on, before we go on to what it does to if it got attacked, this one, basically, if you had a Blue Eyes White Dragon, or one of the Dragon Rulers, or whatever cards, except for Ojama's, because So, this card is basically you gain life points. Your opponent and you gain life points. But if you had battery action to Samachi, then your opponent loses life points and you gain life points. Now, if this card gets attacked by your opponent, you pay 1,000 life points, banish that attacking monster to the ban zone. This card's effects cannot be negated by card effects, or cannot be chained by card effects. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. You take no damage from battles involving this card. So, because this card is a steam healer and some of the other parts, now we got Seal of the Darkness Cannon Slime. This card is gonna be Inflictor. Basically inflicts damage to your opponents once it's summoned. So, it inflicts 1,000 damage to your opponent's life points for each of such cards on the field. So, including himself, So, if you had like 1, 2, 3, if you had like a lot of monsters with the same, like there would be like 5, and then the next row down, you basically, it's an instant win thing. And if this card is attacking, pay 1,000 life points, negate all card effects from the field until the end phase. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. You take no damage from battles involving this card. If this card gets attacked by your opponents, pay 200 to banish that card. And then this card gains attack equal to that banished monster's attack points. So basically, if Blue Eyes White Dragon comes and you absorb the attack into, or you're basically turning that monster's attack points, like Blue Eyes White Dragon or like Five-Headed Dragon, and you basically, this card can get up to crazy amount of attack points. So if this card is in your graveyard or battlefield, shuffle this card into the deck and draw or add 2 cards from your deck to your hand. So that's crazy, yes. So now we got to the trap cards. So this one is different from the normal ones. So ready? So you can activate this card instead of setting it. So basically, normally the trap cards have to be set first, then activate on your next turn. But this card, when you have a specific field spell, this one on the field, you immediately activate it. And once it's activated, your opponent must send 2 cards from her deck to the graveyard. If it does, skip your opponent's main phase 1. If this card is in your graveyard, shuffle this card into the deck, or into your deck. Draw 4 cards from the top of your deck to your hand. If you do, negate all card effects from your opponent's field and hand until the end of your opponent's 3rd turn. This card cannot be negated by card effects and cannot be changed by card effects. So, once you activate this card, it basically allows you to get rid of 2 cards from your opponent, like that boosts up this card's chances of getting no one. And yeah. So now we got to heavily Queen of the Seal of Darkness. It takes 2 level 4 monsters. This card must be XYZ summoned. If this card is special summoned, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card to the graveyard. Special summon all Seal of the Darkness monsters from anywhere to your field as possible. If this card, or if it does, then inflict 500 damage to your opponent's life points for each monster from the field by this effect. This card's attacks, so you can detach 1 material from this card. Sorry about that. Yeah. So now, so when you detach 1 card, like it usually when you detach 1 card from it to special summon like all the of its own archetype to the field. But when this card is attacking a monster before damage calculations, you can detach one XYZ material from this card, and all monsters from, or this is the actual effect, all monsters from either player's graveyard or field to this card and treated them as a XYZ materials for this card. This card's effects cannot be negated by card effects and cannot be changed by card effects. This card makes 4 attacks per battle phase. And yeah, so this one is a big boss monster. Like, I have 3 boss monsters. This one is one of them. She basically, once she attacks, she absorbs all the monsters into into herself. And yeah. Now her trap card, Double Night Wings. It's a continuous trap card, or the counter trap. If you have her on the field, you can reveal this card from your hands. Special summon 2 Seal of the Darkness tokens. Level 4, 1000 attack, 500 defense, dark, to your field in attack mode. But if they get destroyed by battle or by card effects, you can select 2 cards from your opponent's deck or hand, send them to the graveyard. If it does, then inflict 1000 damage to your opponent's life points for each card from the graveyard by this effect. If this card is in your graveyard or battle zone, you can shuffle this card into the deck. Special summon 2 monsters from your deck or graveyard to your field in attack mode. But attack points become double the attack points. So basically, if you had the smiling on the field, when you activate that card before and summons like Smiley and not that one. Oh, I forgot to go over the builders. So this one, let's go into it, shall we? So when it's flipped, you can select 1 field spell from anywhere to activate it instant. If it does, skip your opponent's next battle phase. If this card is sent to the grave, select 1 card from your deck, add it to your hand. This card cannot be negated by card hex and cannot be chained by card hex. So, yeah. So then, yeah. So now we're going on to the one that was in the intro. King of the... So, King can only be special summoned or by discarding 1 Seal of Darkness card from anywhere to the graveyard. This card summoning cannot be negated by card effects. Yeah, so the attacks pay 1,000 life points, negate all card effects from your opponent's field. If you do, then all monsters from on the field, except this card, their attack points get set to 0. This card makes 4 attacks per battle phase. Yeah, so if this card is sent to the grave, you can select one, except for itself, special summon it to your field in attack mode. But its attack points become double the attack points. So basically this card, most of the monsters has like summoning and then the negations, and you don't take damage from all that stuff. So that now they're a fusion monster. Seal of Darkness Fusion Cannon. Look how beautiful it is. It's a dark level 8. Yeah, level 8. It takes 2 Seal of Darkness monsters. Must be fusion summoned by a fusion spell card. If this card is special summoned, you can select 2 of those and then support this card. Special summon them to your field. But their attack points become double the attack points. If this card attacks a monster, pay 1,000 life points, negate. So it has a lot of negations. Like this archetype has a lot of negations. And some of the cards, like this card, like you don't have to take damage. And like it says it in, let me find the stupid thing. You take no damage from effects. So basically, yeah. So I don't know if that works with one of the spell cards that I usually play that keeps myself entertained. But let's go to Seal of the Darkness of your enemy. So is this card, good thing is this card doesn't need the specific spell card to be activated, because I think that was too wacky. So you can select one monster from your opponent's deck or hand, send it to the graveyard. If it does, then if it does, then your opponent gains 25,000 life points. If this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle this card into the deck. Activate one Seal of the Darkness card from anywhere to your field. This card's effects cannot be. Yeah, so this one triggers another card. This card, Seal of the Darkness, Return of Darkness. If this card is activated by a card effect, you can select 2 one or two of those monsters from anywhere, spell summon them to your field. If it does, draw 2 cards from the top of your deck to your hand for each monster from the field by this effect. So basically, you basically draw 4 cards, basically. That's pretty overpowered. So most of these card artworks that I drew, all of them I drew, actually. So, yeah, most of these cards, most of them are centered around this field spell to be summoned. That's why they have a searcher like this one that allows it to tribute itself to activate the field spell. Oh, and then this one is actually for, like, if you had any cards that needs the Banish Zone as a fuel source, or like one of the other cards earns, like this one, to add a field spell this card to your hand. So each one you can activate 8 from it. And most of these cards it's like basically armor from Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 4 or 3. The helmet was... So, basically most of these cards are basically creatures of the night. They're like horror ones. I mixed Greek mythology with like Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, and yeah. So the king of the head, and then queen. I was gonna create a princess of the archetype, though. But I don't know who should I put. So most of these cards are their servants. So basically, if you had him and him, once you like detach both of them, like this one, you can use its effects, or you could go into the fusion monster, or make an apple pie with it. Yum. You could do a lot of combo plays with it. And some of these cards, like this one, you can send one monster to the graveyard. Basically, the bird looking thing that I drew, it is sending someone into the void of it. Yeah. Then this card gains the power from it. Like if you send, it's your choice of it. So, yeah. Then it has all the functionalities of it. Thunder Strike is based on a spell card from Yu-Gi-Oh! The Rigeki one. You could see it referenced in its effect of I'm going to destroy the field. Bang. I'm going to destroy my opponent's or my enemy's field. Yeah, sorry. So the whole archetypes gimmick is focused around this card. This card exchange gives them 1,000 attack points, and plus it doesn't have the enemy cards like the loser of the duel who will lose their soul thing built in. No thanks. Man, this card is pretty overpowered because you can pay or you can activate it for each of your opponent's draw phase. And this card can't be destroyed by card effects. But compared to Seal of Valakautos, Seal of Valakautos is once per duel one. But this one, you can use it once per turns. See? It's weaker than it. So, if you guys want... This is a question for you all. If you guys want to see me duel against the Florentine Yu-Gi-Oh! Guy right here. If you want to see me duel again or do the challenge one in it, let me know. Because I will do it. I will duel against him. Huge shout outs to him, by the way. I forgot to mention that. So, yeah. So basically, he can... And if you're watching this, I accept that challenge thing. If you're ready, that would be insane. Florentine Yu-Gi-Oh! Because you already seen what some of my cards can do. But your Seal of Valakautos is probably gonna be gets dunked down the toilet. No, really, I'm just messing with you. Okay? So, ready? So, if you're ready, just text it to me on the Discord. Okay? So, have fun, you all, and have a good night or day, depending on the time zones. Bye. Before, make sure...